This is a story about hang gliding instruction. What is the instructor looking at? What clues tell the teacher to move on or hold up? What skills are we trying to develop, and how are we getting our students there? This is not intended to represent everything that happens in an introductory lesson. Safety precautions, learning and teaching styles, etc. have been purposefully omitted due to various constraints. This is meant to be an introductory snapshot into flight instruction, and will hopefully provoke greater study and understanding of the subject. The feelings and sensations in hang gliding will be unfamiliar and perhaps counterintuitive to the person who has never flown before. Our job is to incrementally build skills and confidence. Our story starts with familiarizing the student with moving around with the glider on flat ground. People are very familiar with moving on flat ground, and learning something new is much easier if you can relate it to something you already know. When picking up a glider, it's easy to say, balance the glider on your shoulders. But giving more specific cues, like the down tubes should contact the outside of your arm where it meets your shoulder, will greatly enhance your student's learning experience. To start running with the glider, students must learn to accelerate while maintaining the proper angle of attack. Teaching students to walk, jog, run helps smooth the acceleration and therefore makes it easier to control pitch. Starting our run with a falling forward step and leading with our shoulders is also an excellent way to get the glider and pilot accelerating together. As the glider's airspeed increases, students should allow it to lift up so their harness lines become tight. As with all hang gliding, it's important to encourage a light touch. If you're teaching students to pick up the glider with the grapevine grip, you'll need to teach them how to smoothly transition their grip without compromising pitch control. Once the glider has lifted its own weight and the harness lines go tight, we must continue accelerating. An excellent cue is to try to pull the glider through the air with the harness. This is also an excellent time to teach them to let the glider support some of their weight while taking long strides, much like pushing a scooter or skateboard. As students are running with the glider, we give them a target to aim for in the distance. This helps get their head up for situational awareness and keeps them running a straight line. If you teach them how to pull the glider with the harness, they'll learn to steer the glider through weight shift simply by running toward their target. Once students are proficient at picking up and running with the glider while controlling pitch, it's time to introduce the flare. We help with the timing, but with the students' hands at shoulder level, they should be pushing the down tubes forward and up until their arms are fully extended with their hands over their heads. Having them do this with open palms ensures a loose grip. With our students well prepared, it's time to take them to the slope and give them a taste of flight. This is the part that really puts the smile on their face and the make or break moment for hooking someone into the sport of hang gliding. If they're feeling safe, having a great time learning to fly, and can see this is something they can do, they'll be back for sure. By following the flat ground progression, we were able to teach the skills necessary to launch, fly, and land a hang glider with minimal risk to the student because their feet never left the ground. These tasks set the foundation that all following flight skills build upon, so it's important to spend time coaching students on each task until we witness several satisfactory executions. A successful hang gliding instructor embraces the fundamentals of instruction by creating and maintaining a comfortable learning environment, by relating new tasks to their students' existing life experiences, and by following a progression where each new task builds upon the previous one. Giving accurate demonstrations and using simple yet precise teaching cues that appeal to your students' learning style will have them excelling in no time. Remember to train your students only in appropriate conditions, and don't forget the priorities of a hang gliding instructor: safety, fun, and learning, in that order.